The movie begins in the summer of 1943. It is the height of World War II, and there are many dead. There are many great battles all over the world, but in Russia, things are extremely brutal. We see soldiers walking on a battlefield after a giant battle, and there are many dead all over. It is now the duty of the soldiers still alive to take care of the wounded and the dead. Younger soldiers must pull out the injured from their tanks and take care of the dead. There is a lot of destruction, and especially a lot of Russian tanks are totally destroyed. Often the crew of the tank gets killed first in battle. Suddenly, a young soldier tries to take out a dead body from a tank. He calls his commanding officers, as the tank driver is still holding the wheel. The commanding officer sees the man, his skin is totally burned, and only his eyes are safe. Somehow this man is still alive and breathing. They get him out of the tank and bring him back to the doctors. There are many injured here, and many who die later. The man is totally burned, 90% of his body is covered in scars, and is totally black. The doctors don't even want to help him, as they think he is dead. A female doctor notices that he still has a strong pulse, so they decide to help him. The female doctor thinks that the patient will die in a matter of hours, because it's impossible that someone can survive these types of injuries. It's a total miracle when the burned man survives. After 3 weeks, he is still alive and in bandages recovering. The doctors are totally amazed, and decide to change his bandages. When they change him, they are shocked to find that almost all of his wounds have healed. His body is still a bit scared, but nowhere near 90%. This man should be dead, but for some reason, he is alive and totally recovered. The doctors talk with him, but he doesn't remember his name or anything from his life before the war. The soldier still has all his skills in combat, he can write and read, and they take him to the commanding officers to talk. He sits in front of them, and they don't believe that he has been burned all over his body. Soon, the doctor explains that the soldier is a miracle, but he has retrograde amnesia. The commanding officers are impressed, but the doctor doesn't want the soldier to go to battle, as he still needs to recover. The problem is that there are very little tank officers, so they need him. The orders are very clear: everyone must report to the battlefield if they are able to walk and function. Since the soldier has no memory of his life before, they decide to give him a new name, and they call him Ivan Nadanov. Nadanov means found in Russian. This is because Ivan was also found. Then we see Russian soldiers arriving via train to the battlefield, and when they arrive, they see many tanks totally destroyed. Ivan is also there. He is touching a tank and standing there. He is very strange. He doesn't fit in well with other people. Also, he is convinced that he can talk to tanks and truly thinks that tanks are living. Ivan talks with two commanders who want to know who he is. He introduces himself as a tank mechanic and reveals to them that the tanks behind him were destroyed by the White Tiger tank. This is a very lethal tank, and the same one that destroyed his original tank and killed its crew. The commanding officers want to know how Ivan knows this information, and he reveals that the tanks told him. He tells the officers that he can talk to the tanks, but the officers don't believe him and send him away. But one of the officers is a bit scared about what he said. There have been rumors that a totally white tank has been destroying Russian tanks, and there are whispers that this White Tiger is in fact a ghost tank. This tank arrives out of nowhere, destroys everything, and then disappears like it was never there. The other commanding officers think that this can't be true, and it's just dumb rumors. After some time, a German soldier is captured by the Russians, and he was also part of a battle with many tanks. The Russians first beat the German soldier, and then ask him some questions. They have a translator with them, and the German soldier tells them everything he knows. He tells them that he was there when the White Tiger tank attacked. The battle was hard, and many Russian tanks were destroying German tanks. Then all of a sudden, a white tank appeared and destroyed all the Russian ones. Then it was gone in seconds. It was like it was never there. The Russians who are interrogating the soldier don't believe this story, but they are worried. He tells them that this tank is the peak of German science, and they can't stop it, no matter how hard they try. The German soldier then admits that he didn't see the tank with his own eyes, but many did. The Russians are skeptical of this story, but they know that their tanks are being destroyed. Russian commanders all gather to talk about the White Tiger. There have been reports that the tank has been seen in the forest. The Russians had many tanks and soldiers in that position, and they were all destroyed by the White Tiger. After the battle, the mysterious tank just went into the woods, and it was gone. So the commanding officers decide that they have to create a powerful tank of their own. But the problem is that there isn't a lot of time. The lead engineer tells the commanders that it will take a month, but they only give him 2 weeks. After a while, we see Ivan and how he is living on the battlefield. People still think that this is very strange, but he finds his community among the soldiers. He gets invited to talk with some commanders and other soldiers. They want to know more about him, but he doesn't remember anything. He has no family and no other name, but he doesn't care much, and only wants to catch the white tiger. The soldiers ask him about his experience in his tank and that day on the battlefield. Ivan remembers some parts of his past, but he mostly remembers that white tiger tank. He saw it with his own eyes, but he then tells the soldiers that the tank wasn't much different than the Russian tanks. The only problem is the tank is dead. After Ivan says this, the men are confused, but he just keeps saying that the tank is dead. The soldiers talking to Ivan think that the tank probably got stuck in the swamp. But Ivan is sure that it's still out there in the forest. It seems that he has some sort of connection to it. The soldiers think that Ivan is very strange, but they also realize that he is the best tank pilot they have, and he must drive the new tank when it's finished. His mission, if he accepts it, will be to hunt and destroy the white tiger tank. Ivan accepts this, as he also wants to face off against the tank that killed his unit. After 2 weeks, the Russians created their own prototype tank. It's basically just an upgraded version of the usual tanks, but it has stronger armor, a much better engine, and also more precise in combat. The trick with this new prototype tank is that it needs only 3 crew members to drive it. The chosen crew arrives on the day that the tank is getting inspected, and the commanders have also arrived to meet the new crew. The chosen crew is made up of Ivan. He is the leader and also the driver. The commanders think that he has the most experience, as he faced and survived a battle with the white tiger. Also in the crew, we have Kryuk, who is the gunner, and Berdiev is the one loading the ammunition. Their orders are very simple. They must use this new tank and track down and destroy the white tiger. Before they can go on the mission, the commanders want to see their skills in action. The crew loads into the tank, and they have to destroy a target near the forest. Since all the guys in the crew are great at their job, they impress the commanders by destroying the target rather quickly. Ivan and one of the commanders talk about the last attack of the white tiger. It appeared from the swamp and destroyed 5 tanks, and then it was gone. They go to the place of the attack, and it's pure carnage. Ivan communicates with one of the destroyed tanks, and tells the commander that the white tiger came from the forest. Soon, the mission begins, and the hunt for the white tiger has started. The men go with their tank into the forest, and create a camp to have some rest. They use tree branches and another tank as bait. Now they have to wait until the white tiger appears. Soon enough, that happens, and the ghost tank appears. It destroys the bait tank and even hits Ivan's tank. Luckily, the tank isn't damaged, but they are now afraid of the white tiger and its attacks. Ivan prepares his crew, but the white tiger for some reason just leaves into the deep forest. After the battle, Ivan and his crew take a break because they are all very tired. While talking, they start discussing the white tiger, and they are all confused and ask why the white tiger didn't kill them and left. Ivan admits that he thinks there is a tank god. This god wants him to hunt down and kill the white tiger. Ivan is now convinced that he is a chosen one. He is chosen by this tank god, and that is why he survived and can now hear tanks. During the battle, also this god tells him where to move and how to avoid danger. After a few days, Ivan is more upset and obsessed with finding this phantom tank. While talking to his other soldiers, he tells them that there is actually no crew in the tank, it's just a dead machine. Another soldier called Fedotov thinks that Ivan isn't crazy, and he wants to help him hunt down White Tiger. And we see a Russian tank moving into the battlefield. Soon, it gets destroyed by the White Tiger in a single blast, and nobody can believe the precision of the White Tiger tank. No human could possibly hit that good. It doesn't miss one shot. The White Tiger starts to once again retreat, but Ivan pilots his tank towards the Phantom. He follows the tank into a small village that is almost destroyed. In the battle, Ivan destroys another Panzer tank that was hiding in a barn nearby. Then finally he faces off against the White Tiger tank. Their battle is fierce, and Kryuk manages to get a hit in. Kryuk prepares the final shot to destroy the White Tiger, but the barrel gets jammed and explodes. The White Tiger uses its chance and disappears once more. Fedotov meets with some of the other commanding officers after what he has experienced in the last few days. He doesn't know what to believe. He tells the other officers that he truly thinks that the White Tiger and Ivan are not human. They are something much more dangerous. The other generals and officers think that he has gone mad and send him on vacation. 2 years later, it is now the end of the war. It's the year 1945 and the Germans have lost. Fedotov meets up with Ivan one last time. He tells him that the battle is over and he can go home. Ivan smokes a cigar and tells Fedotov that the war will not end until the White Tiger is destroyed. And Ivan believes that the tiger will one day return. Fedotov leaves the soldier and his tank and goes back to the car. Suddenly, he turns around once more and sees that Ivan and his tank are totally gone. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you in the next video.
Back in my bag and I gotta brag, I do this shit for real. When we was down and we had nothing, we had to share a meal. We put the shit in overdrive with no steering wheel.